Like, one of the, like, I'm about to go on a rant. I am going to go into my room.
There is a place that waits for a force to hold it.
We've lost Looney.
We've lost
He's
Looney for like
forever.
10 minutes, probably.
Build, grow.
We'll see you next year.
I'd be concerned. Alright. Dragon Age Inquisition. Dragon Age Inquisition is probably one of the only games that actually makes me go, I want to learn how to edit and make a YouTube video about it. Record everything that I need to, multiple playthroughs, all that fun stuff. As much as I enjoy this game, there's a lot that still pisses me off. A lot.
Scott.
There's, like, even with the small minor things of, like, sound mixing could be just a tiny bit better, especially in that cutscene that just happened. And there's a few weird bugs. This game frustrates me, and I like it. I don't love it. And that is probably one of the biggest problems I have with Dragon Age as a whole. I love fantasy stories more than sci-fi. And I love the Dragon Age franchise. But there's so many moments in this game that make me go, what the fuck were you thinking? And there's still things that I'm discovering in this game that make me go, what the fuck were you thinking? Like that whole situation where I was going through Redcliffe's castle, and I'm looking at a shield and going, that doesn't belong in here. That is a Kirkwall-based symbol for the Amel family. Why is that in Redcliffe Castle in Ferelden? That is a country across the seas from the Free Marches where Kirkwall is.
We now know what allowed you to stand against Corypheus. What drew him to you?
He came for this, and now it's useless to him. So he wants me dead. That's it.
The anchor has power, but it's not why you're still standing here. Your decisions let us heal the sky. Your determination brought us out of Haven. You are the creature's rival because of what you did. And we know it. All of us. The Inquisition requires a leader.
That's a fancy sword.
The one who has already been leading it. You.
Love Stardew Valley, right?
I don't think I heard you right. You want a Canary as your leader?
We want to make official what is already the case.
But our history...
I am aware of
Made by one guy. Or Hollow Knight,
Not your
made by
people.
1803.
You are an individual. Perhaps that is part of your strength.
There's so
Without
much
you, there is no
amazing lore
We
in
all
Dragon
accept
Age.
that. But how you lead us,
There's so
that
many
is entirely
really great books. One of the characters that is a companion in this game, Cole, he's from one of the books. And you find out what happened in that book from him in the game, but it's not the same as reading it.
I will lead us against Corypheus, and I will be an ambassador. I'm a Canary standing for Thetis. The Inquisition is for all.
wherever you lead us.
Wherever you go.
Have our people been told?
And there are legitimately amazing moments in this game. The first time I played the game, this moment was so fucking powerful. I legitimately was on the verge of tears because this is a beautiful moment. After hours upon hours of doing all this work for an organization that really doesn't care about me, to be put in the position of power that my character already was in without having the title to actually be officially recognized as the leader and have that respect come along with it. This is a powerful moment. And technically, this is supposed to be the halfway mark of the game. You can get here in less than 5 hours or 6. It does not take that long to get here.
So this is where it begins.
And then there's a lot of really, really great ideas in the game that are just underutilized. Or there are moments in this game that completely rewrite the history of Dragon Age as we understood it up until this point, because they retconned certain moments. Like Alistair, character from the first game, Dragon Age Origins. He's a companion, you can romance him, you can make him the king, he can end up being a drunk, staying with the Wardens. He has this emotional moment of, my mother was a serving girl to King Merrick, the father of King Caitlin. Caitlin is my half-brother. And she died. And from the way that it was worded, the way that it was said, his mother's a human. And then a Dragon Age book comes out. Based around Merrick and Loghain, they're building friendship and how they took back Ferelden from Orlais. No, she's not a human. She wasn't a serving girl. She's an elf who was fighting with Merrick and Loghain, and they had a night of passion, and she ended up giving birth to Alistair. And then this game comes along and changes his mother again. Grand Enchanter Fiona is now canonically Alistair's mom. She is one of the most underutilized characters after you pick her up. And this is one of my problems of, like, it's clear that they want you to go with the mages over the Templars. The Templars are easier to get to, but the way that you find out everything about what's going to happen makes more sense when you do that whole time travel interaction with the mage quest. After that point, mages? Who the fuck cares about them? We've got bigger problems. But if you go with the Templars and you do that quest and you go and pick up the Templars, you now have the Templars under your command and you can do more with them. Corypheus II is no longer Samson. It's a lady named Calpurnia. She's a Tevinter former slave mage who ended up rebelling against her master to join Corypheus. I see a comment, and I will get to that in a while. She rebels and joins Corypheus because she sees Corypheus as this better option to being a slave. And you can use this against Corypheus to turn her against him. What can you do with Samson? Oh, you can weaken his armor. What about Grand Enchanter and Fiona? Nothing. She just exists. And if you actually have Alistair as your warden guide, which is spoilers, instead of Stroud or Loghain, you almost get an impactful moment of Alistair getting to meet his mom. But you don't. And who the fuck is this Mary Sue of a character, Grand Enchanter Fiona, who is a mage, who became a Grey Warden, but one day she woke up and was no longer a Grey Warden, so she went back to the Mage Order and became the Grand Enchanter, and she's the mom to this beloved character. I feel like they just attached that to her so that people would like her more. I don't fucking give a shit about Grand Enchanter Fiona. She's not a character I remember outside of playing the game. I will see her and go, Grand Enchanter Fiona. But if someone goes, what's the name of Alistair's mom? Fuck if I know. And, oh, I know because her existence pisses me off. Or like that moment, like there's this really insane moment of like, she approaches the Inquisitor. asking for help, and then you go and talk to her, and she's like, I don't know what you're talking about. That wasn't me. Why is that a hanging thread that never gets answered? Was it time magic? Fuck if I know. Dragon Age Inquisition is not a bad game, even with all that ranting. But when this game came out, it was clear they looked at the success of Skyrim, open world games, and went, we want to be like that. They didn't do anything interesting with that. Their side quests are terrible. The acting is phenomenal. Romances are mostly okay. Some of them are underwhelming. But why the fuck is it the female elves get the most with 6 options? Human female gets 5 options, and everything else gets 4. The fuck? Your romance options are Josephine, who is male and female options, Iron Bull, who is male and female options, Dorian, who's a male romance only, Cassandra, who's a male romance only, Sarah, who's a female romance only, Blackwall, who's a female romance only, Colin, who's a human or elf romance only, and Solus, who's only a female elf romance only. And the only reason that Colin and Solus ended up becoming romanceable options was because they had extra bit of time. Why not make Scout Harding another romance? Who's this really interesting character that you can flirt with. And if you don't flirt with anyone else, like Samara in Mass Effect, you kind of have a thing going, but it's not an actual thing. And like, I have in this weirdly unique position to talk about Dragon Age Inquisition because I have as many hours in this game, because I am still discovering new things in this game that who the fuck cares? Like some of the shit, who the fuck cares about some of the things that I'm talking about? Who the fuck cares that a Mel family sigil is in Redcliffe Castle? It's clearly only there to make fans happy. And the worst thing about Inquisition is the moments that this game proves it's really good are its DLCs. But only 2 of the 3 story DLCs do I actually care about. The first one that came out, The Jaws of Hakan, has this amazing lore moment of you find the first Inquisitor of the first Inquisition. And that Inquisition went off to form the Seekers of Truth, or the Templars, because in this game they claim that the Seekers of Truth and the Templars were the descendants of the Inquisition. Well, which one is it? Is it both? Because it's very clear that like there's some conflicting lore going on in this game. But you meet the first Inquisitor, who is the definitive moment of you should be playing an elf in this game. Because when you meet him, the first Inquisitor is an elf. Spoilers. Alright. I liked it. Replayed it. Nope. Don't want to play this anymore. I played it once. I got what I needed to out of it. I don't need to play this DLC ever again. Alright. Descent. Descent's the second DLC. The second story DLC that dropped. You're going into the Deep Roads. You're joining up with the Legion of the Dead. The dwarven exiled soldiers who have a funeral when they've joined the Legion of the Dead because they are already dead. And you meet the shepherd of the dwarven city of Orzammar, who is an outcast because she didn't want to erase history. And you're going deeper into the Deep Roads to the point of you're not in the Deep Roads anymore. There's something below the Deep Roads. Oh, hell yeah. And you get to this point and you meet this thing called a Titan. This gigantic creature that can move and shape the earth, that may or may not have either created the dwarves or is a direct ancestor to the dwarves. Holy fucking shit. This is an amazing DLC. I love it. I play through it every single time. It's a great DLC. Alright, what about the last DLC? Trespasser. I love it. It is like the Mass Effect 3 DLC, where you get all this just fan love from the devs to the people who play the game. I bought this game when it first came out. I had to buy a new computer just to be able to play this game, which pissed my dad off because I didn't ask him for advice first, even though I was 20 at the time that I bought it. Go fuck yourself, Dad. I bought every single DLC when it came out. At the time Trespasser came out, which was like a year something after, I've already put in like 2 or 3 full playthroughs. So Trespasser drops, I start playing it, I go and click, I want to play the Trespasser DLC because, like any of the main story missions, you have to go and click on the thing and go, yes, I want to venture forth. And it says, you cannot return after this point. Oh, alright. Trespasser is the definitive, this is the end of Inquisition. There's spoiler stuff in it that I don't want to spoil because I want people to experience it with me. Because there's an amazing, just holy fucking shit lore in that DLC. Of like, oh my god. And it fills in so many random holes that people have been wondering about for such a long time. Like, what happened to this character after the end of the game? Where did they go? What the fuck was the situation going on with the elves? What the fuck is all this random things? And you get all of these answers. I'm like, alright. Alright. That was a fucking rant. And he constantly was fixing his game until not only was he happy with it, but players were happy with it. Thank you for the follow, Poppy Satan. I understand your point completely. I still think sometimes game devs should put a lot more effort into making the products to be the best they possibly can. You know, maybe just because I'm OCD and a bit of a completionist. There's one achievement I don't have in this game. And it's a bullshit achievement. You have to kill 10 great bears in one playthrough with a certain challenge on. It makes bears harder to kill. I can actually pull up that save and just start grinding bears out. But what that rant was like all over the place. It proves my point that Dragon Age Inquisition pisses me off and I still like it. It is a game that had so much unused potential. At the end of Dragon Age 2, you have Liliana and Cassandra walking away from Kirkall going, the champion has disappeared and the hero of Freldon have disappeared. The mages are rebelling and the Templars are rebelling. What are we going to do? And at the start of Inquisition, after like a 2-year time skip or something like that, this war has been going on for quite some time, and there's this peace talks going on, and it blows up literally. Everyone that was at the peace talk in the one temple of sacred ashes gone. So we miss 2 to 3 years worth of story because they wanted to use Corypheus from Dragon Age 2 and make him much more important. Which brings up even more questions. Alright, Corypheus acts like an archdemon. When you kill him, he comes back to life. And the nearest blighted creature, whether it be Darkspawn or Warden, and he takes them over completely. Okay. That's terrifying. So what about the architect from Dragon Age Origins? Because you can kill that guy. Does that mean that guy can also come back in the same way? Because the architect is more strange than Gryphius. At least with Gryphius, you find out. Spoilers. Gryphius is one of those original magisters from Tevinter that went into the Fade and breached the Golden City, which was black. It was black when he got there, which is something I'm going to have to get into when we get there. Because there was a point that the Golden City was golden. There's a reason why everyone calls it the Golden City. But it's black. It's been black for longer than people know. And he goes there, and they come back. And he has everything that he did when he returned to the world of the waking gone. He has no idea what happened. But we do. We know that the first blight started because him and the original Deventers, Magisters from Deventer, came back, spread the blight, and the first blight started, and the Grey Warners were formed. And you find out in that DLC, Legacy in Dragon Age 2, that the Wardens were confused at the existence of these weird dark spawn that were able to talk and think and used magic and command the forces of the Darkspawn, and they were able to capture Corypheus. And when he wakes up in Dragon Age 2, he has this moment of like, where am I? I was in the Golden City when it was black. Dumat, where are you? Dumat, why do you not answer me? So the old gods of Tevinter, which are the archdemons of the Blight, responded. And you find out, well, those archdemons were just dragons. There's two of them left. And this fucking rant all over the place. ADHD. It's fun. And going into Dragon Age 4, with all of this, of like, there's two of these archdemons left. There's one more forgotten one left. Because you can kill 3, but there are 4 of them. So one more forgotten one left. Alright. And there's also the Elvelden, the gods of the elves. They're sealed on the other side. And you're probably going to have to fight them. And I'm worried, I'm concerned about Dragon Age 4. I'm concerned that Dragon Age 4 is going to get me even more fucking riled up than this game did. Because you know what, the first time I played this game, minus a few complaints about combat, I loved it. But the more and more time I've put into this game, the more and more it pisses me the fuck off. Because there's so many moments in this game that make me stop and go, what the fuck was the logic, what's the reasoning of this decision? Why did they do that? Also, what the fuck is that outfit? That outfit is disgusting. That color scheme is gross. I hate it. Take it away. I'm so glad that they introduced a way to actually change the fucking outfit. I'm like, to finally get to a point. The devs of Dragon Age Inquisition recognized that there were certain complaints that people had. You can't change the color of your armor after you go and craft it. Here's a tinting station. Hi, what do you think of Solus as a character? So there is a canonical storyline for Dragon Age Origins 2, and there is going to be one for Inquisition. However, there's a playthrough of the games that I definitely prefer over the canonical. And absolutely the best fucking playthrough I've ever had. Female elf, romance Solus. Solus is the best romance, hands down. I will fight people over this. I love and hate that character. so fucking much. And the fucking revelations about him later in this game, again, I don't want to spoil some things because, you know what? There's people that watch this that haven't played it. Yes, I agree. Yes! Yes! I love it. I love it when people go, I agree. Oh, I want to talk about, like, some of those moments. So, like, his romance is so heart-wrenching. Because unlike the other romances in the game, he breaks it off. And, like, even more so than Blackwall, which is this most fucking boring romance. It is, hands down, the most boring romance in the franchise for me. Blackwall, after he sleeps with you, puts a letter on the fucking, like, table and says, "It was nice, I'm out." So boring. Blackwall is boring. But Solus has a reason why he can't give you his heart when you romance him. He feels burdened and unable to simply fall in love. When he broke up with my Inquisitor, I was heartbroken for like 6 months. And that the exchange that you get with him in Trespasser when you have romanced him is so fucking amazing. It is so powerful. And there's a reason why Solus is this character of like, oh, you're supposed to hate Solus. Are you fucking kidding me? Solus is one of the most interesting characters in the franchise, period. And I love talking to him to the point of I will actively, in my playthroughs, make decisions that don't piss him off because I want to be able to continue talking to him. The mages, yep, they have their freedom. The Templars, imprison them bitches. The Wardens, kick them out. Even though, like, I like the Wardens, and they make one of the stupidest decisions. That's another thing about this game. Why do people make the dumbest fucking decisions in this game? Grand Enchanter Fiona decides, well, the Conclave failed, and the Templars are going to kill us. Let's side with the Magisters of the Tevinter Imperium. You just indebted hundreds of mages to the Tevinter Imperium. Probably without their agreeing, without anyone going, I'm okay with this. I'm pretty sure most of them are like, no, 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 no. Because, like, she literally put herself in a situation of, like, if the rest of Ferelden found out, that's war. On the mages, they have no more right to live. This rant has been a lot longer than I intended. But I really do hope, like, it shows just how fucking passionate about this franchise I am. To the point of, like, I haven't really read a book in a while, and the last one I read was just audiobook. But I want to read the books of this franchise. I want to consume the outside lore. Good rant, solid points. Thank you. It feels incredibly invalidating. Like my best friend, he pops up sometimes. He's pale blooded. He and I are such huge fucking Dragon Age nerds. And with everything said, as much as I love Dragon Age, and I would always pick Dragon Age over Mass Effect, the Mass Effect franchise is overall better. Even with I hate Mass Effect 1. It is a terribly designed game. Outright the worst game out of Mass Effect and Dragon Age. Mass Effect's the worst. Mass Effect 1 is the absolute fucking worst game. It pisses me off to play it. Its design is terrible. Oh, did not mean to go like starting to go into a rant on Mass Effect. But Mass Effect 2, hands down, beats everything between the two franchises. Mass Effect 2 is the best designed game from BioWare. Mass Effect 3 is an amazing game with a really shitty ending that has so many fucking videos on the internet that you can actually go and watch because these games get people talking. I see all your points. I don't have any comments because I've never played it before. That is fair. Hopefully, when I'm done with my Dragon Age Inquisition playthrough, the Mass Effect Legendary release will be out, which will either be the point of like, all right, BioWare's going to redeem itself, or it's going to be the thing that makes everyone go, BioWare's gonna die. And with everything being said, there should not be a Dragon Age 5. Dragon Age 4 has to win, needs to win with 4. It should not continue after Dragon Age 4. This franchise, if you want to continue like the whole fantasy stuff, make a spiritual successor, but do not make a Dragon Age 5. I do not need another franchise like Kingdom Hearts where like we're going to give you spin-off games, spin-off games, spin-off game. Here's a main release. Hi, welcome to the internet where it's generally more entertaining to watch people rant about stuff and get into a very passionate conversation about a thing. And I like this rant has been building inside of me for months. Ever since I started Dragon Age Origins, I knew this rant was going to happen. I knew it was going to happen. There was no way it wasn't going to happen at some point. And I was trying my best to make sure it didn't happen until after Trespasser. Because there's still things that I'm holding back about it. Oh, Jesus Christ. Mass Effect Citadel DLC. That's what it's called. Why couldn't I think of that like 6 months ago? Oops, sorry. Are you apologizing because you got me into a rant that lasted like 30 minutes? You just broke the floodgates holding that rant back. You said just the right things to make me go into a rant that started with game design. Because there are moments of this game of like, why did you make this decision in the game design? Like, I will never, ever let go how much their choice of limit the health potions and take away the healing spell pisses me off. Why would you take away one and limit the other? Do one, not the other. Because it's so fucking stupid. Of like, your limit of potions is 8 health potions at the start of the game and 12 after you get an Inquisition perk update on it. And no healing spell. But there's a revive. Something that existed in Dragon Age 2. Oh, but there's no injury. You don't have to worry about your characters being injured. Give us the fucking injury. Punish us for falling in battle. Make my teeth hurt because of how much I want to continue playing the game. The main part of Dragon Age, the main thing, the reason why I go back to Dragon Age Origins, even if my computer doesn't want to fucking run it, is the story gets me to play that game every single time. Story Mass Effect 1 is not good enough for me to play it because the combat in the game pisses me off that much. Mass Effect 1's, it's got a good story. Its combat is just that bad. Look, I go back to Dragon Age Origins because of the story. I go back to Dragon Age 2 because I love the characters and it's got amazing combat. Why do I keep going back to Inquisition? I really don't know. I like the game, but I put in more hours in Inquisition than Dragon Age Origins or 2. Definitely not combined, but definitely more than either of them individually. I put more hours in this game than Mass Effect 2, which I consider to be a better game. I think I got that on my system. In 7, Piranha. It's funny because healing is not very useful on Nightmare with Trials. Barrier and Guard end up making healing pointless anyway. Yeah. Especially the trial of, like, heal health potions, heal 1 point. But the trials are a great thing. I love the trials. Fuck the bear one. It pisses me off. It really does. But I love that they went, alright, you want to make the game more difficult? Here's a trial. Do it. Bet. Where are all these people coming from? Where are all these people coming from? Why am I watching my numbers slowly growing in my rant? Cortisone. Jesus Christ. Hi, new people that have never met me before. I'm the Loony Fox. I decided I wanted to hate myself and do a full playthrough of Dragon Age, and then a full playthrough of Mass Effect afterwards. Before this, my normal games were Hollow Knight and Dead by Daylight. I don't really know what you're ranting on, to be honest. How much I love and hate Dragon Age Inquisition. It's a game that pisses me off, but I still play it. It doesn't have the strongest story. Definitely doesn't have the strongest combat. It's got the best crafting, though. It's got the best graphics. This rant's been all over the place, too. That's probably the worst part about it. Because it started with Serendipity cosplays. Or cosplay. Yeah, cosplay. Um, Mentioning game design, like, oh, game devs, like, why don't they just fix this when the game's been out since 2014? And just kind of went everywhere because I've been holding a lot back during this full playthrough. And, like, during the playthrough, Dragon Age Origins was pissing me off, but not because the game's bad, but because the game's old. It needs a remake. I love it for all the lore it gave us. Yes, it gives us such amazing lore. It also has some of my favorite characters. All right, who who are your favorite characters in Inquisition? Because I think like most of the fan base of Dragon Age can go, Solus is the best character in that game. Yeah, it's cool. Colin's back. Liliana's back. Varric's back. Yeah, sweet. You good? 1 second.